Marcel, where are you going with that disc? You are not putting that on again. Marcel, okay, if you press that button, you are in very, very big trouble.
Attention. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's time for The Unwritten Rule, a Mizzou sports podcast brought to you by the Believe Network, alongside Payton Haverman and Kenny Van Doren. Here is your host, Jack Knowlton.
Welcome back to The Unwritten Rule, presented by FanDuel. Today is Monday, January 12th. Payton is very happy, and Mizzou's very happy because they got 3 more transfers since we last spoke. Yes, we're leading with football today because the basketball team could not be bothered to make a free throw, but Payton and I will get to that a little bit later on. Transfer portal things. We've got our resident portal knower, Kenny Van Doren, here. The Tigers added 3 more guys, another offensive lineman, much to the delight of Payton, I'm sure, an edge rusher, and a wide receiver. The edge rusher who you're looking at on your screen right now is Jaden Jones out of Florida State. Last year, 7 tackles, 1 pass deflection, and put 171 snaps with the Noles. His best grade on PFF, guys, run defense, 72.3. Was his run defense grade last year with Florida State. The wide receiver, this is a guy Kenny and I have both a name we've both known for a while, being in the recruiting sphere. It's Naeshaun Montgomery. He comes from Florida, so 2 guys from the Sunshine State coming over to Mizzou. He was a freshman last year, only played in 2 games, did have 3 catches for 26 yards. But Kenny, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm assuming he redshirted and didn't play the rest of the year. So a younger swing there at wide receiver. Same thing with the offensive lineman. It's Will Kemna out of Kansas State. He's a Missouri native, went to a state championship with Helias out of Jefferson City. Was at Kansas State last year, did not play. He also redshirted, so he'll have 4 years of eligibility left. Kenny, feel free to take your pick. Which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Jaden Jones. The most recent one was last night. Recording here, we will preface that it is Sunday, 11:49 a.m. So things could change. Other guys could jump in before the NCAA dead period.
I want some breaking news on this show. We haven't had any breaking transfer news yet.
We had a visitor last episode where we got to post
true.
about that. So yeah, things could change. More guys come in. There's an NCAA dead period from Monday to Wednesday. So no visitors during that time. So you want to get, finish everything up this weekend, see who you can get in, and then you go into next week looking at what other positions you still need to fill. I think Jaden Jones is good depth. 1 year of eligibility remaining. He's torn his ACL twice, so he's really just on a recovery toward it to get back to where he wants to be. Played at Florida State. And, it doesn't have like the best track record behind him, but I think he's, a good size. He's listed 6'6", 240 here on his On3 profile. He's going to be a guy that's probably going to put his hand in the dirt, like kind of the Zion Young, Eddie Kelly's of the last couple of seasons. And I think he's a good depth guy right now. I mean, I don't know if you're expecting the world of him, but just, when he was healthy, he looked good. And I think there's, some people that probably don't see that as much, just, watching with the eye test. But I mean, some of the numbers were a little bit eye-catching. He's from the JUCO ranks as well. He went to Hutchinson, which is where, Missouri has very good familiarity with. DeMarcus Johnson came from there. They've added some depth guys in the past. Peanut Houston is just one that comes to mind, too, as a wide receiver a couple of years ago.
Is that where Dylan Leibel was?
No, I think he was. That's a good question. You look that up real quick. But yeah, I think it's a school that Missouri's been familiar with. It was very familiar with it when Al Davis was on staff too, because he coached there. But yeah, I think this is a good depth guy. They're still looking at some other edge rushers. I'm not saying Jaden Jones won't play, but I'm not necessarily expecting him to be, the best, like, the Damon Wilson, replacement, but he's still going to be an SEC impact player.
Leibel was a 3-year guy at Hutchinson.
There you go.
So
good shout. Good job, Payton. Any thoughts on Jones? It feels like a good piece to add. Like, this defensive line is going to need a facelift. Maybe it could be a little bit more of a run stopper guy. I like this for Mizzou getting kind of a veteran. I mean, hopefully, we saw that struggle with guys like Dara Smith. I mean, hopefully the poor kid, for his sake, can stay healthy. 2 ACL tears, not a fun road to climb back from.
Yeah, I mean, as a depth guy, I think it's good. I don't think you can rely on a guy with no sacks the previous year to come in and be a starter. If you're looking to at least kind of replicate what you got out of Young and Wilson, just the pass rush in general. But certainly very enticing athleticism. 6'6", 240 is pretty nuts for an edge rusher. I don't know what his arm length is or anything, but certainly a selling point with Darius Smith was his athleticism coming over from Georgia with minimal production. So we'll see. I wouldn't expect this guy to be a starter unless things probably don't go Mizzou's way in the portal, but certainly not a bad swing.
Yeah, I like it from a depth standpoint, certainly. I mean, we saw some of those veterans, kind of start to step up, likes of Gracial and Sterling Webb, and make an impact outside of the, Chris McClellans of the world, and come in and be a little bit of difference makers. You can never have too many defensive linemen. That's one of the older SEC adages, I feel like, at least from what I hear on message boards. The other thing is offensive linemen. And we kind of, I think, lump Kemna and Montgomery together because I think they're sort of similar in terms of these feel like more long-term bets. I mean, Kemna is a Missouri kid, feels like the classic Eli Drinkwitz. You never lose touch with these guys. You're able to still kind of recruit in state, even if they initially pick another school. But Kenny obviously seems like more of a long-term bet here on a younger guy who, you'd like to get in the fold and hopefully develop a little bit. And like, frankly, I hope it does work out. Like there's been a couple of offensive linemen that have come in. I know you've talked about a couple that, it's kind of a bummer to see them transfer already. And then you even have, people like Logan Reichert who, their development just hasn't quite panned out. I would like to finally see, especially an in-state offensive lineman kind of work out in the years to come for Mizzou, but that's what this feels like this is with Kemna here.
Yeah, it initially looked like a walk-on opportunity. He didn't visit before he committed. Credited Evan Boehm for the opportunity to come back to Missouri once he entered the portal. And Evan Boehm's on staff in the player personnel department, but he's been really helping out with the offensive line. Adding some depth guys like Luke Warwick as well, who could probably be your sixth or seventh offensive lineman this next year. So he's getting some credit there for some of these guys. But with Will, he did say that it is a scholarship, but it could be just, you have 105 scholarships now. Like you have the full roster is 105. You're not, standing right on the 85 mark. You don't know if, they'll use all 105, but this is one of those where you can give him a scholarship. You just kind of, play the long game with him because he was listed at 6'4", 268 pounds at Kansas State in his freshman year. Probably want to see that go up a little bit more. You want to see him kind of transform his body into that offensive line build, maybe put on, 10 to 20 more pounds, just depending on what position they'll stick him at. But it's going to be, one of those things you do play the long game and see if it works out and see if he sticks around too. Probably a good feeling to come back home and play for that school. I don't think really Missouri showed much interest at all. He never visited Missouri. He was never offered out of high school, but he was a late riser by the end of the year. But I think it's just a fine kind of depth piece and just see what happens.
Yeah. Well, then, I mean, I'll walk it back with Montgomery then, because you talk about a guy who was under recruited, a late riser out of high school. This kid, Montgomery, had every offer under the sun coming out of. I think he's from Rhode Island originally. I forget where he went to, or he ended up at high school. It might have been IMG or one of the prep schools, Kenny. But Miami Central. I should just read. So he went down to Florida. But yeah, he was a super highly touted kind of wide receiver. Didn't, get a lot of run at Florida in his first season. And it's interesting, like, especially with these wide receivers now. I mean, like, you look around the country, I think, like, the first example I think it was like Tony with Miami. I mean, these freshmen, you even think of, like, not to hit on a nerve here, but like a Ryan Wingo at Texas and what he got offered opportunity-wise last year. Some of these skill guys are breaking through and playing right away. So it's not shocking to see the ones that don't, try to get an opportunity elsewhere. But I think this guy's a pretty high upside bet here for Mizzou coming over. This feels like a nice get. Again, I don't know. To me, I feel like you still need another guy with some more experience, just with how thin that receiver room, is with experience. But this is a nice swing here for Mizzou to go get Montgomery from Florida. think he was top 100 guy or top 150 guy.
I will say on Montgomery as well, like I think it kind of caps off
262.
I've been pretty happy with what Mizzou's done in the portal at receiver for the most part. Goody is an intriguing guy. Horatio Fields, I think they're kind of hoping translates well, although he kind of reminds me a little of Dennis Jackson from the 2023 team.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I was thinking it too. I don't know why, but that was something that did come to mind.
Just kind of a another SEC guy that didn't produce a whole ton. Now, granted, that team in 23 had Burden and Weiss and Mookie Cooper. I think people undersell a good amount. Very good receiving room in front of him. He just kind of got lost in the shuffle. I don't think Horatio Fields will have that problem, and I can't imagine he's worse than what Dennis Jackson was either. But this is another fun ad. A guy like Knowlton said, everyone in the country seemed to be after at one point or another. Certainly an intriguing option to kind of bring in and develop. I'd like to see one more addition to the receiver room, maybe a guy that has a bit more of a track record, like even similar to Goody's level of production. I'd feel pretty solid about the receiver room after that.
You look at it too, where every year they try to get 3 freshmen in the class, and last year they lost Boggs, and they showed interest in him again, just in the transfer portal. He withdrew; he's going back to Florida State. But I was looking at it from a perspective of eligibility left, and now they got 3 guys that are eligible through the 2029 season with Sean Terry as well. It's already used to be 2 because Donovan Olubade and Demarion Folks both burned the opportunity to redshirt. So that's a good group of just younger wide receivers, and you just see who can make that impact and who's going to stick around from that. What's the third? What's 4? What's the word for 4? Quartet?
Quartet.
Who's going to stick around among that quartet of wide receivers? Quartet.
Yeah, it is quartet. Yeah, it's among that quartet because of course you're going to only have 3 starters. But it's a good group. I think they'll probably have to go after maybe another older guy next year, depending on if any of these underclassmen kind of step up, like you saw with Josh Manning and Marquise Johnson in their 3rd years in the program. So I think it's exciting. It was between just Florida and Missouri. You just kind of see if you can get that upside that Montgomery's known for.
Yeah, I think the thing we're underrating too. I mean, maybe this is just me, but I feel like Olubade is going to take a really big leap into next season. I think that the sky is kind of the limit for him. It's probably not quite to the level of Luther Burden. He got kind of a little bit more run his freshman year than Luther Burden did, but I still think Luther Burden probably flashed more. But I think Olubade is going to be, going to kind of elevate even further next year and prove to be a long-term, very good wide receiver 1. That's what I'm projecting, but you're going to need one of these guys, whether it's Folks or Montgomery, I think next year to really take a step up in addition to getting, I think, another experienced guy.
That reminds me, we need the Olubade versus Luther thing. We got to go through our predictions from the hot takes.
Oh yeah. That'll be a future show. That'll be a future show. That'll be fun. Matt Zoller's 1 snap. That's a rough one. But yeah, I'm excited about Montgomery. I mean, Kenny's in the recruiting space. I used to be in the recruiting space at the time when he was a high schooler and he was getting calls from everybody. So a highly regarded prospect and still is so. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman, so there's a lot of growth that can still happen there. So there you go. Some transfer portal rundown for the guys Mizzou got. I believe, Kenny, the only guy who has entered since we last spoke is Dakota Terrell, the tight end.
I got 2.
Oh, there is 2. Okay, who's the other one?
We'll go Dakota Terrell real quick. We didn't talk about this. No, did we?
Not Terrell.
No, we didn't talk about Terrell. So freshman tight end, didn't appear in any games. He was a late riser in football. First love was always basketball. He got a couple basketball offers, and then as he played football a little bit more, he was just such a raw player, but he had all these great physical attributes. He was tall. He had the length. He's 6'8", 220 pounds. Like he was, a big time, Oklahoma basketball player with, the ability to play on the inside. And so played tight end, played some defensive end. He looked like a guy that just wouldn't call him a project. I feel like sometimes that's mean, but it's a guy you were really just banking on developing. Let him get used to football a little bit more, especially in the SEC. But he announced he's going to enter the transfer portal to pursue basketball. He's going to go back to that first love, and he's going to go play on the court, try to find an opportunity there. His stepdad mentioned in our comment section actually that he did try to walk on at Missouri. There is one roster spot, but it just didn't work out. Mizzou said no. That's in that case where, their walk-ons aren't really a thing anymore in college basketball. You have that one roster spot. You're also in an era of college basketball where there's G League players, there's former pros that are trying to get onto teams. What if something happens to Mizzou and you lose a player and you have an opportunity to add someone late? I mean, that's a real safety blanket just to have that spot open if anything ever happened. So Dakota Terrell is going to pursue basketball. The other one is walk-on quarterback, Naeshaun Smith. Didn't play any games, of course, didn't suit up this year. He's from Festus. He'll have 4 years of eligibility remaining.
I wonder with Terrell, you mentioned with the, all these ads that are coming. I wonder if he's going to be able to find, you think he'll be able to find somewhere mid-season? I wonder how that'll work with going from football to basketball, but it doesn't frankly seem like there's any rules anymore. So if, a certain team wants to add a guy, they probably can make it happen for him. Maybe he could even join up this year. That would be quite something. Played on a football roster in the fall of 2025 and then on a different basketball roster in the same, college calendar or whatever. That would be something. Well, yeah, best of luck to him. That's a intriguing story that I'm sure will be a tiger in the wild in the very near future, wherever he ends up. So there you go. Kenny, before we do quick hits, any interest offers you want to touch on? I know there are obviously a lot, but any in particular that stand out that the people
didn't he have another?
It was Essie and Smith. Payton.
Oh, right. Sorry.
The Alabama duo is the one to know. Russo and Smith both visited. They made it to Notre Dame this weekend as well, getting there, and I think it was like Saturday, early Sunday. So both of those guys are there. Looking through my other list of Samuel Okolonlo, who's a Colorado defensive lineman. He visited this week as well, still waiting on a decision there. Seth Davis, who we talked about, running back from Mississippi State, visited this weekend. And then Wendell Gregory, Oklahoma State transfer edge rusher. That would be a big one. And I know Payton quote tweeted and said, "Why is Missouri fighting Texas for everyone right now?" And it was in relation to Andrew Sprague as well. But I think, Wendell Gregory would be that big impact defensive end that you're looking for.
There you go. Some names to watch. Kenny's in the know. Go follow his transfer tracker at Mizzou today. He's got it all down and all the timelines. So transfer portal update for Mizzou, a smaller one than our last one, but you never know these days how big they'll be on a week to week basis with adds and subtractions. That's a bad word to use, but guys who choose to depart. I'm intrigued with Terrell. I'm going to look into this. I would love to see if he can get himself on a roster like this winter. That would be really quite something. So there you go. All right, we will kick to a break and come right back on the other side with quick hits.
And now for something completely different.
All right, I lied. We're not going right to quick hits. You're going to hear some things in quick hits about the planning of this show, and you'll understand when you listen to that because
we
it will
fly by the seat of our pants, folks.
Yeah, we're wild cards here on the unwritten rule. Yeah. Payton and I are going to talk about Mizzou men's basketball, which lost Payton. First L of the season in SEC play, 76-69 to Ole Miss. My big, I kind of like, frankly, I don't mind living in the world sometimes where I overanalyze and make a broad judgment based on one single game and then change that broad judgment as the games go. I think it's sometimes a fun way to live as a particularly a college basketball watcher. So my broad judgment for you or thought is this team just dependent every game or going to be dependent every game on how well Anthony Robinson does offensively? And here's my thinking for that. From like a consistency standpoint, I just feel like it's been really all over the place with him. And the other part of that for me is with some of these other guys that are scoring pretty regularly for Mizzou, it hasn't been. I mean, Mark Mitchell, we know what he's given. And then frankly, the other one, I know it's only been 9 games because he's been hurt, is Jaden Stone, who's averaging just under 14 points per game. He's only been outside of double figures once. Anthony Robinson now is the 4th leading scorer on this team. He's also behind Jacob Cruz. His game log the last few games, 6 points, 9 points, 19 points, 12 points, 15 points, 19 points, and then 5 points, 6 points, 4 points, 4 points, going back to like late November. I just think it's a little bit of a worry just from a consistency standpoint on offense. And then you pair it with, he had another rough game with the fouls. He did have 6 assists and only 2 turnovers, which I think has been very good in terms of a consistently improved output in both of those categories. But I don't know. I think for how much we know Dennis like wants to play him, he played 35 minutes again. I just think 6 points on 2 of 9 shooting is just not going to be good enough to win SEC games. I think he's just got to be more consistent. I hate to be so single outy about him with this game because I think there's more you can talk about with why Mizzou lost this, but I don't know. That was my big overreactionary take from this game with him.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the year, it felt like Mitchell and Ant were kind of going to have to carry the load most nights to get wins. And I still do think that's true, especially because, I mean, Cruz's scoring has kind of dipped a bit with Stone being back as well as Pierce. Ant did not have his best game yesterday. The free throw thing for Ant is just really weird. I mean, he has really no excuse, it feels like, to be this bad at free throws, and he's been bad at them every year he's been in college. That's perplexing, especially with some of the touch he shows on mid-ranges or three-pointers, although it hasn't been there as of late. I still don't think he was drop dead terrible. I mean, 6 assists, 2 turnovers. That's good out of your point guard.
Yeah.
I think he really, I mean, Sean Phillips being 6 of 7 from the field, I think a lot of that has to do with Anthony Robinson. In general, just giving him good feeds on pick and rolls and whatnot. But I mean, some nights you're going to need him to step up and score more because let me say this. First of all, Missouri, this was a bad loss. No way around it. I will say people like in this league, you're going to lose games you shouldn't pretty often. But this one sucked, especially after the 2 wins they'd gotten to kick off SEC play. This is a bitter pill. But, I mean, you look at the history, Ole Miss could be 0-30 and Missouri could be 30-0, and Missouri would not beat Ole Miss in Oxford. They just never win there. It really is unbelievable. It is harder for Missouri to win there than Rupp apparently now. I don't even know Missouri's all-time record at Ole Miss. I'm sure they have a couple wins, but
I'm going to find it for you while you're talking.
As long as I've been a fan, I don't think Missouri's even been that close to beating Ole Miss in Oxford. It's really insane. But here, I mean, the thing with it was Missouri got off to such a scorching start, and then like Ole Miss kind of switched their defense up. I think they went to like more man-to-man. They played a lot more aggressively, and Missouri just did not respond well. I don't think anyone did a good job. I didn't like the movement off ball a lot of the time. Mitchell did what he could. Phillips was like 12-6 from him, like on paper is good, but it didn't feel like he was as effective as he should be. I don't know. It was a very frustrating game where you kind of have to throw your hands up and just go whatever. They had open looks from 3. They just didn't make them. The free throws are just killing this team. I mean, even if they go, I'm not asking them to shoot 85% a night. If they could just shoot 70% a night at this point, I would take it. I mean, if you get up to even, 16 or 17 of 24 in this game, it's a 1-possession game late. And that was with Ole Miss kind of, getting to the line at the end with Mizzou playing the foul game. So I am with you, Jack. I do think Ant needs to step up and be a bit more aggressive at times. And But the problem just is every guy has off nights, especially at the guard position. And if Ant has one, I just don't think they have anyone that can run the point to kind of take the load off for him. I don't trust T.O. Barrett at all right now. And I don't really think any other guards on this team can run the offense all that well.
Mississippi, by the way, or Missouri, by the way, against Ole Miss, they have lost the last 2 games. They've played on the road. That was this year, and then the 2024 0-18 year. They actually only lost that game by 3 points. They did win the year before that, Dennis's first season, 89-77 at Ole Miss. And they won the away game prior to that as well in 2022. 78.
You know what? I do remember that the Dennis Gates game because that was the lineup where they had Mosley starting. It was like Nick Honor, Isaiah Mosley, Demoy Hodge, Kobe Brown, Aiden Shaw. And that was the best lineup they ran that season.
So there's the history there. Yeah, the free throws, it's very frustrating because obviously there is not a solution, that you can really offer other than you just need to get in the gym and figure out how to make them. If they make 6 more free throws, or I guess 7 more free throws, this game is tied, and that still would be 14 of 24 from the line. Ole Miss, by comparison, shot less free throws, by the way.
19 of 24 from the line.
Yeah, this is a Missouri team that can live above the rim, that can draw fouls. You talk about Ant, Mark Mitchell, guys like Phillips.
Phillips is never going to be a good one. I'll excuse him. He's 7 feet tall.
Yeah, I guess you always have the one guy. But another game where Missouri won the rebounding battle 35-34. I think it's pretty reliable. They're going to do that every night.
They've been great on the boards.
I do stand by for Ole Miss. Malik Dia has been a great player in the SEC for a couple of years. I think he gets weirdly underrated like all the time. And that doesn't excuse giving up 21 and 11 to a guy, but that guy has done that against the, Alabama and the good Alabama years. He's done that to, Missouri when Missouri, he's been good. So I will give some credit where credit is due for Ole Miss, but
Ole Miss has good players, but they were a team that did not look like a team at all this year. Coming into this game, it just looks like some hired guns. I said that about
similar to Kentucky
as well,
right?
But they were like the less talented version of that. But they really kind of got into they only had 15 assists on 26 made shots compared to Missouri, who had 22 assists on 25 made shots. But it was much better. I remember Missouri early on played great defense, forced Ole Miss into a lot of bad shots. Then they switched to zone. I remember Sunvold straight up saying they have to try and overload one side and get a shooter free, make one guy guard 2. They immediately did that, got AJ Storr a open corner 3. He knocked it down. Game was never the same after that. Ole Miss played a much better offensive game. And they got a win that kind of at least keeps their season on life support. I don't think this Ole Miss team is going to wind up going anywhere, but they played a lot better than Missouri for 30 minutes of that game.
The corner threes was tremendously frustrating. I think this was another, Dennis just feels like he's going to stick with his guns with this zone defense, and it's either going to work. It's going to work against some teams, and it's just not going to work against others. They don't adjust it enough. I don't think they fly out to shooters quick enough because there were a lot of guys. It wasn't just AJ Storr, and AJ Storr had a great game. He was 26 points on 16 shots, 4 of 6 from 3. Ole Miss shot 40% from 3 in this game, which is really good. You're going to beat a lot of people when you do that, especially when the other team shoots that poorly from the free throw line. But the other thing too, Payton, from this game, the bench, you talked about it. Trent Pierce, who, again, I talk about a consistency thing. I think you know what you're going to get from him. I think he is a guy who can be close to a double figure scorer off the bench, which I think is really exciting for Mizzou. 10 points. He did take 11 shots, which was, is a lot. You'd like to see it be a little bit more efficient, but he did his part. And then Mizzou literally got nothing. As a matter of fact, they only got 3 field goal attempts from everybody else who came into this game off the bench. Ole Miss had 2 guys who it was Travis Perry, who, if you know nothing about college basketball, you can watch one game with Travis Perry in it, and they will not fail to mention that he was Kentucky Mr. Basketball and broke
one of the greatest high school basketball scorers ever.
Yeah. But he played 4 minutes and scored 5 points. And then this guy, Augusto Casilla, plays 9 minutes and scores 7
Killed
points.
Mizzou.
It was little sequences, and Missouri just did not have that guy to take over a game when the reserves were in. I think you make a fair point where, I don't want to dunk on Anthony Robinson too hard. I think he needs to be better for how long he plays, but there was just absolutely zero from this bench outside of Trent Pierce. And I get, teams aren't going to go with super big rotations as the season goes on. There's all those, 7-8 players deep. How deep do you go? But it's got to be more than 6, or I guess,
6 you're actually getting something from.
Yeah. Well, and it was more like 5.5 if you don't count Anthony Robinson, all the way. He didn't reach his ceiling as a player in this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing from T.O. Barrett and or Boateng.
Boateng, man, he played a lot in this game, and he just did not look good. I mean, it's frustrating. I mean, to see him be the crown jewel of that big 24 class, be the 5-star. It's just, I mean, his offensive game has just not shown up at Missouri one time. It really is sad.
There was kind of a little bit of a flashpoint in this game, I thought, when Sean Phillips got called for the
tech,
which actually was an assist by Anor Boateng. So he did have that contribution. But yeah, he gets that tech. Ole Miss actually missed one of the free throws, but they went on a 5-0 run after that, took a 58-55 lead, and Missouri was just never quite able to get it back. They did tie it back up at 62, but then Ole Miss went on another run. That one was 7 points, 7-0. So things kind of felt like it flipped after that game. I actually thought overall he's fine. He was fine. I have to watch the tech back. I thought it was kind of BS, but that's how it is these days. If you talk for too long, you're going to get called for it.
It was like a stare down, really.
Yeah, I didn't really think he did much to warrant a technical foul. It's an epic play. He just dunked on a guy. A guy's going to react how he's going to react. But the game changed there. I still thought he was actually fine for, how much he kind of struggled in the first half of that Kentucky game.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just a perplexing player. He's given them he's good on pick and rolls, which is what was advertised. They do a good job of finding him, but I want to see more defensively from him.
Yeah.
I do think he has a tendency, and this is hardly an issue isolated to him. It's an issue with a lot of 7-footers, but they got to coach it out of him. I mean, he gets swarmed down there and just does not look to kick it out. There were a couple times, and Mitchell has this problem at times too, but Mitchell has gotten better about kicking out, finding a shooter. I mean, there were a couple times where Phillips got doubled, even occasionally tripled. I remember Mitchell had a triple on him early in the game and didn't respond well. They started doing that to Phillips, and Phillips would just try and swing around kind of wildly. I would like to see him kind of get a little better about finding an open shooter, but
yeah,
again,
Mitchell,
we're kind of nitpicking now, but
yeah. Mitchell, to his credit, by the way, 7 assists. That was a game high. I mean, You're not often going to see him
get 7 from him.
Yeah, you're not going to often see him get more assists than Anthony Robinson in a game. But yeah, Mark Mitchell, I feel so bad because we don't talk about him, and that's because he's doing really well. And in a loss, you have to scrutinize kind of what's not going well. But he continues to just keep Mizzou in games. Any other lingering thoughts from this? Auburn's up next. Auburn just beat Arkansas by darn near 30 points. They were, making yo mama jokes on the broadcast. It got that bad. I mean, that's going to be a tough game. It is at home there on Wednesday, Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact time. But I think it's one you gotta see a win in. I know Auburn. They're 1-2.
Wednesday.
They did just beat maybe the best team, maybe the best team in the SEC right now, in Arkansas. But they've also been very
disagree.
I said maybe. I wouldn't say the best, but I would say maybe the best.
I've got
right
it
now. It's hard to kind of bet against Vanderbilt right now, but I mean Auburn has just been turbulent, and that game's Wednesday at 6. Thank you, Kenny. Yep. Our silent producer in the shadows. But I think it's a game you got to see Missouri somehow find a way to come out with a win.
Yeah, they're going to need it. I mean, it's not you need every game at this point. Like you said, you're going to lose some in this league, but that they need that one, plain and simple. I think Auburn is looking like they're going to float back into trying to become a tournament team. Yeah, you need to get that game. They then go to LSU, and then it's home Georgia and Oklahoma. That's not an awful stretch on paper. I know, again, you can beat anybody, you can lose to anybody. It's not a terrible stretch if you can get through that Auburn game. Georgia will be tough, but it's nice they'll have that at home. We'll see how it pans out for Mizzou. Like you mentioned, Payton, we did have a third member of our team who I think is going to join us. I don't know if he's going to do his thing. He told us he was going to do a thing. Am I going to add you to the stage, or are you going to do your thing? Oh, he's here.
Hi, Kenny.
Hi, Kenny.
Hey, it's been a while.
Kenny watched the first half of this game, but he was somewhere else for the second half, which he's going to tell us about.
Yeah, I went to Highland, Illinois, kind of a little late trip. Got it figured out, though. But I went to see Jason Crow Jr. take on Scotty Atkinson in the Highland Optimist shootout. Pretty cool, just overall experience. It's a pretty big gym. I haven't been in like a basketball gym that big. I've been to Vashon in St. Louis, and that is a very underrated gym. They didn't get to play many home games at all, if any at all, last year. But that's a really cool gym. I like the ones where you have like where it's almost built down. I think it's more of a Midwest thing. We don't have these in the South, but really cool looking gym. Overall, just cool experience to see those two going up against each other. There was a little bit of like a scuffle there in the second half between Jason Crow and a Webster Groves player. It wasn't Scotty, but another one. And Jason's dad, Jason Crow, who I don't think goes by senior, but just Jason Crow. He was in it a little bit as well with the player, just kind of jawing back and forth, maybe just a little bit of competitive spirit, but all around, very interesting kind of game in the sense of maybe not the best performances from both sides. I think it just comes from two alphas going up against each other, and maybe not all the supporting cast kind of meets it, which just happens at the high school level. But overall, Scotty didn't take too many shots in this game. I think he only took 8 from the field, but got into the teens in his scoring. I thought his defense looked good. He's had to play on the block a lot this year just because of the size of Webster Groves isn't there. With Jason Crow, it feels like he can make any shot. I posted a video. There's one where he shoots one right over Scotty, and it was a good matchup. In that sense, a little bit less of it in the second half if they moved Scotty around, but just a one-point game in the end. But overall, pretty fun experience to see two guys that could be teammates at Mizzou. We don't really know. Like that's the thing you could say is they're in 2 different classes, 2026 and 2027. And if Jason gets an opportunity to leave, early, then I'm sure that he would take it, and you don't get to play with Scotty. But Jason's dad mentioned that now they don't have to coach against him. They're excited to kind of get them to work together and work out before Jason gets sent off to college in a couple months.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, I think that's cool that they got to get together and play against one another. Sounds like they both did solid enough, and yeah, you're right. Sometimes those games
you probably hate hearing that, huh, Jack?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The Crow hater.
I'm certainly far from. I'm certainly far from it. I am excited to see Jason Crow in a Mizzou uniform.
Why is Kenny just staring at me? The way he was looking.
I was looking at Jack. I don't know why
my screen you're looking at me.
You can unmirror it. There's a setting you can unmirror it and put it.
I like it mirrored though.
Oh, well, then you're gonna look at Payton and he's gonna think you're looking at me, or vice versa.
Kenny, Jason Crow, I talked to you about it like off air. You were impressed by his playmaking, yes?
There was a lot of
on that?
There was a lot of like double teaming and traps of the primary two guys in that game with Scotty as well. Like there was a lot of trapping, and Inglewood was excelling at that, especially in the first half. Frustrating him with getting two guys on him because he is the best ball handler on the court for Webster Groves. And then with Jason as well, it's like some of the shots weren't falling, and even his dad admitted that it wasn't his best game shooting wise. Even when he could shoot over someone with someone in his face, even with Scotty with the size advantage. Probably think Scotty might have an inch on him. Still with the hand in his face, he was making shots. He had 7 assists in this game. I think that was very notable, is that, he did have 5 turnovers, 4 fouls. There were some thorns in that resume in the game, but he was dishing the ball well. And I think that's maybe something that he's been knocked on a little bit, is that he might just be like more of a scorer first, but his ability to, facilitate the offense as well was a good sign.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah. How about that, Jack?
That's great to hear. It's an exciting stat line. Yeah, there you go.
Think he's going to start next year, Kenny?
I don't know. I mean, I would not be surprised if he doesn't start game 1, Payton. That is fair to say.
Maybe.
That is much more of a Dennis Gates.
That would be some Gates goofiness.
A Dennis Gates trope.
The optics of getting Jason Crow, like a top 10 rated guy, depending on where you look, and then not starting him would be a tough pill to swallow.
But so there you go, Kenny. An update on the future of Mizzou while Payton and I talk about a somewhat grim present after a loss to Ole Miss. Not all the way grim, though. Still a chance for a win against Auburn. But there you go. We will kick it to a quick break, and then we'll be back with the rest of the show and all 3 of us on for Quick Hits. Okay, Quick Hits time. Finish up the show. Kenny, you have a quiz for us.
Yeah, just Daily doesn't. Yeah. All right, we'll start with top left. NFL. Before becoming an NFL head coach, Frank Reich was a backup quarterback.
Buffalo Bills.
For this AFC team.
You got to let him finish the question.
To 1994, and let a comeback win from down to 38-3 to the Oilers during wild card weekend.
No way. Have you looked at this quiz already?
No, I haven't, but I do have this.
Oh, that's crazy.
A Tennessee Titans jersey on the back there. Earl Campbell. Go Titans. Tighten up.
Tennessee Titans jersey.
You're putting it on backwards. Where'd you get that?
Home.
You just brought it back with you?
Yeah. My mother gave it to me to bring back.
Kenny, you might need to defend that it's not, in fact, a Titans jersey for the people listening, because
it's okay.
Okay.
Did you know that this is incorrect? It's in caps. It shouldn't be in caps. Wild card is lowercase.
I actually didn't know that. That is a good information.
I learned that today.
Appreciate
AP
that.
style.
College football. As a senior, this Indiana QB led the Big Ten with 27 passing touchdowns.
Nate Sudfeld,
backup quarterback.
Let him read the damn question.
He's taken for damn ever.
His audio levels are going to be so low, I'm going to have to turn them up.
College basketball. Now a featured player for the Phoenix Suns, Colin Gillespie, went undrafted despite being a 2-time Big East Player of the Year at this school from 2017 to 2022.
Let Kenny guess it. Do you know it, Kenny?
Villanova.
It is Villanova.
Good job, Kenny. Did you actually know that, or were you guessing?
I was a Big East good player in the era that Villanova was very good.
He also had an older brother that went there.
Yeah,
really?
You guys are surprised because I know nothing.
Are you all right? Do we need to?
You don't even know how to wear a jersey the right way.
Do we need to intervene here? What's wrong?
Nothing.
I think he's sad he didn't get to talk about basketball. I think that's what it is.
Founded in 2002 with over 400 locations, this supermarket chain has Farmers Market in its name and is viewed as a more affordable alternative to Whole Foods. The Sprouts?
It sounds
Sprouts
right.
Farmers Market? Right. It has Farmers Market in the name.
Bang!
For our YouTube viewers, this is Celebrity Mashup. This photo is a mashup of both John Lovitz and what actor?
Who's John Lovitz?
Which one is he?
I don't know.
Whoops.
It's a good question.
All right, snacks and candy.
They took out the guess in both of them.
Yeah, I think it got too hard, so they give you one.
Is that Colin Farrell? It kind of looks like Colin Farrell.
Oh.
Plays the penguin.
Incorrect.
God
This Little Debbie product is a soft pastry rolled with cinnamon spice and pecan pieces.
That sounds nasty.
That does sound kind of, well, I guess I can't speak to it. I don't know how pecan tastes, but
Pecan.
it's a pecan
Television.
or pecan.
Known by younger audiences for playing Professor McGonagall in the Harry Potter franchise, Maggie Smith won a. Cam Coleman just committed to Texas. Maggie Smith won
breaking
a
news.
Golden Globe in 2012 for her role in this British historical drama.
Downton Abbey?
I don't know how to spell that.
Down Ton? Yep, there you go.
Correct.
Well
Movies.
done.
That's what I was thinking too. I just didn't say because I don't have confidence. Tom Cruise's first Golden Globe nomination was for this 1983 film that features a famous scene in which he slides across the floor,
Ferris
dances, and
Bueller's Day Off.
No, that's
No.
not right. That is not.
dancing in just his pink shirt, socks, and white briefs. I know what it is.
I don't
Oh,
know what it
Oh
is.
God, it's really making me mad that I'm not remembering what it is. Can I have a hint?
No.
Yeah. Can I have a?
That's
a
not
hint at the
Ferris
title?
Bueller's Day Off.
No, Payton. Tom Cruise is not in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
RB is the abbreviation.
Oh crap!
I've
Okay,
never
just go
seen
ahead.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I just
Raging
thought
Bull.
that's
No,
what it was.
risky business. Yeah.
Never
Music.
seen that. Okay.
I tried so hard and got so far, and I had to fall to lose it all. I repeated lyrics from this 2000 Linkin Park song.
One
I know the
day.
song. I don't remember
know why. It doesn't
don't-
even matter how hard you try.
What's the
Keep that
title?
in mind. Something.
I know this song, but I don't know the title.
Type letters in, Kenny, to see if we can get an autocomplete here.
A B.
'Cause I feel like when I see them, I might remember.
Type in car. Some with a car.
I don't think it's car.
Car.
I don't know. It's a song title. It could literally be anything.
In the end,
In the end, it doesn't even matter.
You nailed it, Peyton. That's right. I looked it up, and that's correct. That's the right
Where is
answer.
there you go. It's right there. It's right there. Down.
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 There you go. No.
Boom.
We didn't try the little. What was the little Debbie one?
2% got celebrity mashup. Oh, Billy Crudup. Yeah, he's in Too Big to Fail. That's a great movie. It's also in
Spinwheels.
I don't know, Watchmen. I think.
That's a deep-
I haven't seen it. I've
that's a
never heard of
deep cut.
Spinwheels. Those sound nasty. I would not eat those.
Yeah.
You got anything you want to say, Kenny?
No, good job, guys.
You helped.
What is with this gimmick?
The shrug was great. What's your Tiger in the Wild? Who is your Tiger in the Wild?
North Texas. Another Missouri transfer, running back Brendan Haygood. Played a couple games this past year, but earned a red shirt. He was a part of the two running back class in 2025 with Marquise Davis going to Louisville. Now Brendan Haygood going to North Texas. Messaged Brendan's mother on Saturday because I wanted to confirm that his post was a commitment. So that marked 3 commitments. And she said, of course, he does know some people on the team just being from DFW. But now they've got 3 Missouri Tigers: Henry Fanuku, Johnny Williams, and now Brendan Haygood.
Didn't
And
another one visit?
Jalen Early reportedly
Yeah.
visited as well. And I'm not going to say this part, but I did message someone and I said, "Did you take a job at North Texas?" Because I was like, "What is going on with all these commitments of someone formerly on the Missouri staff?" I thought that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. If Jalen Early commits, you've got there you go, a 4-bedroom suite right there. Former Mizzou players all at UNT repping the mean green. I have a feeling they'll be heavily featured in Tigers in the Wild. There you go. Payton, your Tiger in the Wild.
My Tiger in the Wild is going to be the Beau Pribula show. He is on a world tour right now. He has visited pretty much every school under the sun. The latest being Virginia. That got reported that he was visiting Virginia on the morning. We're recording this Sunday morning. So Beau Pribula, man, I mean, he's been to Georgia Tech. I think he visited Virginia Tech. Washington was in there. The Tennessee one was bizarre. I almost think that's not real. Virginia, just a barnstorming tour for Beau Pribula right now.
I mean, he visited a fair few places before he went to Mizzou too.
He visited 5 of them, I believe.
Yeah. So
Iowa, UCF.
Was it Ole Miss on there?
Ole Miss was on there, was it not? I think Indiana was supposed to happen, but it didn't wind up happening.
Yeah. There was a lot.
Imagine that Indiana winds up with Beau Pribula, Mizzou winds up with Fernando Mendoza. A man can dream, huh?
Honestly, that's a build on that. What are those two teams' records? If that's the Indiana with their same rest of the roster,
goes 11-1 and still at least makes the national championship. Mizzou probably goes 10-2.
Yeah, and is a playoff.
Indiana is so good, dude. Fernando Mendoza is ridiculous, though. Don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to say anything like that, but
there's only one win better than Beau Pribula by the sound of it.
Yeah, you know what? Let me change that. So, Fernando Mendoza with Mizzou is probably, I think they win Alabama. I think they win Vanderbilt.
That would be 10-2 still.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about the other. They probably still lose A&M. They got just outclassed in that game. So maybe they're 11-1, Mizzou with Mendoza. I think they could probably beat Oklahoma with Mendoza. But again, Missouri's receivers probably not as good as the core that Indiana's got. Indiana's got a great core. But then you throw Ahmad Hardy into the mix with Fernando Mendoza. Makes you wonder. Oh, well, let's leave what if land.
All right, I'll leave what if land and go back to reality. This is probably what if land for Payton for a long time, but now it's not because the Chicago Bears have won a playoff game over the Green Bay Packers. But silver lining for Green Bay, you've got a dog in Tyron Hopper who got a pick in the wild card game. So he's my Tiger in the Wild. It felt like a really big moment in the game for the Packers. Got a pick when the Bears were.
Yeah, but it didn't wind up being that, did it?
No, it did not. No, it did not.
No,
But good for Tyron Hopper. That was exciting.
Good for Tyron Hopper. He's sitting at home for the rest of the postseason.
Yeah, you want to do Bears corner, Payton? Give us a recap. Your thoughts on that game?
I mean, we all saw what happened, you know. What else is there to say?
I didn't see. I listened to it on the radio. I was in Illinois.
Old school.
Kenny, do you have that in here at all? I think we should get a debrief about that. Maybe instead of having Kenny talk about the Ole Miss game, we keep him on in basketball, but we have him talk about what he was doing.
Okay.
You guys are watching us live playing the show live on Quick Hits. Anyways, Tyron Hopper.
You just told everyone we haven't recorded basketball.
Yeah,
yet.
that's
They've
all
already
you
heard
said.
basketball.
Yeah.
Well, guess
nice
what?
work.
We're getting Freaky Friday swapped in segments right now.
What if I put basketball in right here?
Let's just intermix basketball. I just did the 6-7 hand gesture. Yeah, but Tyron Hopper lost.
Give me another. You don't have any more Bears thoughts? The big comeback, that Caleb Williams throw at the end.
Yeah, it was a good block.
It was the best Bears win I've seen in like 3 weeks.
Ever? Not ever?
It's up there forever. It's top 2.
What's the other one?
The Bears-Packers game 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So you're elated is what I'm trying to deduce.
I'm a happy man today. Despite the fact that Mizzou basketball tried its best to not make me happy. I'm a happy man today.
You can tell in his voice just how happy he is, folks. Headlines. Kenny.
Thanks. Happy birthday, Chris Brooks. You lost.
Missouri wide receiver Daniel Blood transferring to WSU following brother Junior and sorry. Oh.
This is what the payoff was for. This whole game.
Hold up. I'm going to look that up. Is it actually, is there no dot in between it? Oh, I guess there's not. All right. Following JR and Coach Kirby Moore, among the guys that are finding new homes right now for former Missouri Tigers, I thought this one was a cool one and probably the best fit. A lot of Missouri staffers followed Kirby Moore, tight ends coach Jack Abercrombie, assistant offensive line coach. Tight ends coach Durham Cato, assistant offensive line coach Jack Abercrombie, and a bunch of other support staff. And then J.R. Blood has a spot in recruiting as well. So Daniel Blood's going to play his final year of college football with his brother on staff and for his former offensive coordinator, now his head coach.
Kenny, do you have a particular play that stands out when you think of Daniel Blood?
Oh. It's getting contentious. Another win for the Wazoo Tigers.
Where was Daniel Blood committed before Mizzou, Kenny?
Louisiana.
Can you tell me a little about that?
Lafayette, Louisiana.
What's your favorite Daniel Blood play? I have one.
Go ahead, Payton.
Hit me.
Mine is that little sweet play design Kirby Moore ran with kind of a rub route, and Daniel Blood ran it really well against Kansas. Best throw of Beau Pribula's career, in my opinion, was that one.
That could be a good off-season task, is we find like the best moments of individual Mizzou players and actually find what Beau Pribula's best throw was. Figure that out. Might not be that difficult, but
I'll give you some.
The Kevin Coleman quota in overtime might be. Hey, I was responding to his prompts. You go ahead.
Other former Missouri players on the move. Nate Johnson is going to Auburn. Damon Wilson still undecided. I think that's it.
Yeah,
missed.
Wilson was visiting LSU, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Nate Johnson. It's only fair after Mizzou gets 3 Auburn players that Auburn, at least gets one, back.
Yeah. Kenny, can you talk about the LSU catch?
Daniel Blood came out of nowhere, middle of the field, going towards the Rock M, makes a catch in the second half. Probably the biggest catch of his college career. Gets a play.
That was the second half?
Wasn't it?
I thought it was the first drive of the game.
Oh, I thought it was like a third quarter.
You could be totally right. I could be totally wrong. I thought it was on like that drive where they marched down the field, scored, and went for 2 and got it.
Could be that. It was a good catch right over the middle. That's what I remember. They were going towards the Rock M.
Yes,
it was on
they
30
were.
or 40-yard line.
I absolutely remember that.
And, good catch there. Probably meant a lot to him then, being a Louisiana kid. He went to Destran, wide receiver school, school that's produced LSU players. You would just wish the best to Daniel Blood. He's kind of in that Tavoris Jones category. He stuck around for as long as he could, and now he's going to go finish his career in a spot where he could play a little bit more.
The wide
I'm with you there, Kenny. And Kenny never brought that play up again.
What's your headline, Payton?
Just ho-hum. My teams keep doing things, I suppose. My headline comes from ESPN. It's sources. Alex Bregman agrees to 5-year, $175 million deal with Cubs. This comes from Jeff Passan, who rudely said Alex Bregman can score a red zone touchdown. Scoreboard, Jeff.
I didn't think that was very rude. I thought it was pretty funny. Kenny, did you think that was pretty funny? I thought it was kind of funny.
It was rude, Kenny.
I mean,
right?
It's not realistic. He's a baseball player, and he's not very big.
Yeah. So, yeah, Kenny's favorite player ever, now Chicago Cub. Pretty cool. I'm happy with this. I wanted them to get Bregman last offseason. They get him now. I think the Cubs are clearly the team to beat in that division. Because the Brewers are not going to get garbage like Andrew Vaughn hitting 800 home runs again. So they could come back to earth. Cubs, who are clearly the more talented team, can kind of take over the division this year, hopefully.
Records say what they are. Records are what they are. Congrats on Alex Bregman, Payton. That's exciting.
Thank you. Kenny, are you happy for me?
No, not at all. I texted my mom last night and I said, Breggy's a Cub. And she was like, are you happy? And I said, no, because that means Payton has Alex Bregman and the Bears won a playoff game today against their arch rival in an emphatic way. I am not happy at all. I do not like seeing my friends happy. If you guys remember, when the Bucks were in the NBA Finals. I was rooting so hard against the Bucks that year. I was the biggest Suns fan ever, and the Bucks won, and Jack was happy. I want to feel happiness again, and I'm not too happy that everyone else is happy.
Kenny, do you remember what you were doing like
What a
when the
speech.
Bears drafted Luther Burden?
No.
Ooh.
You immediately you text me the next day like, I tried being happy for you, but I can't do it. I'm so jealous. Like literally, that's what you text me.
I'm trying to remember
do.
where I was when that happened.
Kind of remember that.
That's well said, Kenny. Yeah, I appreciate your honesty in that. You know,
You guys are still some of my best friends. I'm saying some. I don't like that you guys are happier than I am right now, but I hope this happiness means something to you, Payton.
Thank you.
I'll join you on the Bregman thing, though, Kenny. I'm not excited about this for the reasons that Payton just detailed. I don't like.
Are you worried at all, Payton, that he has to play in a windy ballpark?
If you read the story from Passon, it points out his pole happy approach actually will be very conducive for offense at Wrigley. So I am worried about how he's going to age because he's already, 31, 32. But I mean, he's got a style that can somewhat age well. He still draws a ton of walks. He still is a very good defender at third. Just a couple of years ago, he won a Gold Glove. I mean, I know that's not the end all be all, but still grades out as a solid defender. He can kind of buy time for Matt Shaw to kind of keep working with his bat. I think it's just a good signing all around. It's something a big market club like the Cubs kind of needs to do. You know, they should be able to take over that division and win it anytime they want.
Whatever. My headline this week comes from On3. And you talk about other people being happy, Kenny. I was still a little bit happy with the college hoop results from Saturday. Even though Mizzou lost, I am still a Wisconsin basketball enjoyer. And they beat number 2 Michigan. So my headline reads, Wisconsin takes down unbeaten number 2 Michigan. This also prompted a quiz that I want to give to Kenny because I think Payton will get all of these correct. Because we were having a conversation a couple of weeks ago about, first of all, Wisconsin hit a bunch of threes. They were down 15 and came all the way back. It was in Ann Arbor. It's awesome. Their tournament hopes are kind of back alive. No one wants to hear about that. People want to hear the quiz. Kenny, we were talking and we were like, oh, should we just talk about broader college basketball when Mizzou was struggling? And I remember you saying, I haven't, seen enough. I haven't paid attention enough so far yet. And this loss triggered a quiz that I think could maybe help you. And maybe you know all these. Maybe this will be really easy. And I think Payton does. So Michigan was unbeaten. They now have a loss. There are 5 unbeaten teams left in college basketball. I would like you to name them if you can.
Okay.
5 of them.
UConn?
No.
Vanderbilt?
Yes. Vanderbilt is 1.
Okay.
I can give you the conferences if you'd like.
Duke?
No.
No, they have lost 1,
They have lost.
I believe.
North
They lost
Carolina.
to one of the teams that is still unbeaten, I believe.
Not North Carolina.
No.
Nope.
Most
of these are very non-traditional.
There are no other ACC teams. That is what I'll tell you.
There's one team I'd say is traditionally very good.
Yeah. And there are no other ACC. So.
Are there any Big Ten?
Yes.
Yes.
So I need 4 more.
Yes. I don't think you're going to get one of them, but
Arizona
is still unbeaten.
Arizona is 1. Yep. That's the traditionally really good one. And
They are the
another
number 1
of these
team in
teams
the
has been
country.
very good lately.
They were ahead of Michigan and are still.
3 more. Are any of them in the SEC?
You got the only SEC one.
You got the one SEC, yeah.
There is one other Big 10. There's a Big 12. And then
Michigan State.
No, Michigan State just got beat by this other Big 10 team last week, who is still undefeated. There's one Big 10, one Big 12, and then one mid-major.
Iowa State?
Iowa State is undefeated. Yes, they are the other Big 12 team. Cyclones are very good.
So I have a mid-major and a Big 10 team.
Yes. I can give you the conference for the mid-major if you want to try and guess.
Go for it.
It is a MAC team.
Ball State.
No.
That would have been awesome, wouldn't it?
Ohio?
No.
You're getting close.
You're getting closer.
If
Miami.
you combine
Combine
if
those
you
two teams. Combine those
the
two teams.
you just said.
Yeah.
Redbird and
Miami,
Ohio.
Miami of
Miami,
Ohio
Ohio
is
yeah.
17-0. They have the most wins of anybody in college basketball, if you can believe
Okay.
that.
And then my last one is Big Ten, UCLA.
Nope.
Is this a real Big Ten school or is it a
No. Yeah.
zoo?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
a transplant.
yeah.
but
It depends
okay.
on how close.
More real than others.
More real than the recent transplants. It's not one of the recent ones.
Oh, so it's not a former Pac-12 school.
No.
No, it is not.
Maryland.
No.
No. Maryland sucks this year.
Yeah. Buzz Williams is struggling.
I feel like I'm wasting people's time.
This is why the quiz was good, because a lot of these teams you might not think.
Rutgers.
No.
No.
Rutgers is awful.
Northwestern.
No.
Illinois.
Nope. They beat Illinois on a buzzer beater. This team.
Man, I don't watch enough of other teams. You can just give it to me.
Fred Hoiberg is the
Fred Hoiberg's the coach.
That helps.
Oh, Nebraska?
Nebraska is undefeated. Yes. So yeah, Nebraska,
Need to listen to
Vanderbilt,
Chase more often.
Nebraska, Vanderbilt, Iowa State, Miami of Ohio, and Arizona are the only other unbeaten teams after Michigan lost to the Badgers. So there you go, Kenny. Those are teams for you to follow outside of Vanderbilt.
You did pretty modestly well.
Yeah.
You got most of them pretty quick.
And it is interesting because it is not a traditional group of teams.
No, yeah. Like Arizona's the only consistent, really good one, I think.
It's Nebraska. I mean, Nebraska's never won an NCAA tournament game. Like it's kind of
Nebraska, Vanderbilt, nuts.
Yeah. So there you go. That was my quiz. That I wanted to get that in at some point. I am admittedly quite happy for Wisconsin. So sorry that I'm happy, Kenny.
The Astros are doing well. They got Imai
Ime.
Udoka,
Suya,
the basketball coach,
Tetsuya Imai, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you excited about him?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I think it's
Good.
awesome.
There you go. I mean,
we're
he's
happy that
he totally engrossed himself in Houston already.
we're happy that he's happy for that, right? Right, Payton?
I am. I like seeing Kenny happy.
Me too.
He's a happy person to watch.
You guys know that meme, and I feel bad saying all that stuff because I feel like some people say, "Oh, I'm being dramatic" or something. But there is that meme where it's like my birthday, and it's my phone. It's like two texts.
Oh yeah.
Like my phone when my favorite sports team loses a game, and it's like 16.
Yeah. It is. That is how it is.
14 of them are from Zach.
That's how it goes. All right, Payton, joke for the end of the show.
What do you want?
A joke? You know, like you could say the
knock,
Green Bay
knock.
Packers, maybe.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
Yeah,
Orange,
sure.
Glad I didn't say Apple. No, this one comes from our favorite TV series. Oh my goodness, I'm fumbling over the line. This one comes from our favorite TV series, The Today Show. Guys, what do you call a can opener that doesn't work?
Oh, Cam Coleman committed to Texas.
Jack Knowlton.
Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice.
Dude, he has a job. He's employed.
No.
Payton,
I know. But like you're saying, it also can. It's a double entendre, Kenny. Now Kenny's going to use entendre in an article.
in a headline.
What do you call a can opener that doesn't work, guys?
Me. I don't know. A can't opener.
Yes, a can't opener. Well
Nice
done,
job.
Jack. A can't opener. Thank you to Sarah Lemire for the.
I thought you were dabbing for a second.
I'll dab. I don't care. Apparently, Yo Mama jokes are back, so maybe dabbing is back. Oh, I thought you were gonna do the shirt thing, like where you put your arm in the shirt and do the. It's like, wow, we're really throwing it back. Yeah. I thought you were gonna do that. We live in 2010. All right, that'll do it for the unwritten rule. Thanks everyone for watching and listening. We will see you Friday. We'll have. Oh gosh, who does Mizzou play? We haven't done the basketball segment yet.
They play Auburn.
Auburn, that's right. Ooh, red hot Auburn. Fun times. We'll recap that and have more transfer portal stuff, I'm sure. So until then, take it easy. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.